How to produce your first burlesque show. Producing your first burlesque show can be fun, and with a little planning it can also be easy. More and more performers are trying their hand at producing. Steps. 1. Think of a concept for your show. If you're in a town where there are a lot of burlesque shows, then you will want to think of how your show can be different from the rest of the pack. A themed burlesque show or a variety show are the two most frequently developed types of shows. New York's current themed burlesque shows include Cosplay Burlesque, a burlesque show that included performers dressing up as various anime characters; D20 Burlesque, a monthly burlesque show that uses board games as the theme; David Lynch Burlesque. David Lynch films are the theme of this monthly burlesque show; Hypergender Burlesque, Summer, 1001 Arabian Nights, Cornucopia, and Freedom have all been the subject of this unique monthly burlesque show where both theme and cast change. Monthly. Nothing is off limits in terms of themes. Storybook Burlesque and Book Club Burlesque both use books as their subject matter. The concept of a variety show is no longer a novelty in itself, with more and more burlesque performers studying skills like fire eating, glass walking, sword swallowing, and contortion. These performers instantly add a touch of variety to any show they are booked in. Many producers will also hire magicians, comedians, or drag artists who can double as host and performer. Spice. An Evening of Variety recently returned to the New York nightlife scene with a complete redesign. Producers opted to scrap the original format of burlesque, sideshow, comedy for a historical theme, in which all acts are connected by a storyline. Scripted shows involve group rehearsals, which in itself create an added cost for a production. For your first production it is best to start small, including budget size, but whatever the concept of your show, make it something you love. 2. Decide on the length of the event. Is this a 1-hour show with intermission? Is it an all-night 4-hour affair? Look around at other burlesque shows and see what the popular production length is. If most shows in your town are only 1 hour, then that could be because other producers have already figured out that audiences are only willing to commit an hour to burlesque entertainment. That doesn't mean your show has to be an hour. You may decide you want to be the producer offering what is not currently available in your town, and then proceed in producing a 2-hour or 4-hour event. 3. Select a performance venue. Unless you own a bar or theater, you'll need a place to put on the show. Start your search by looking at venues that already house burlesque events. If you see multiple burlesque shows at the same venue, then there's a good chance the venue has a following for the burlesque scene and that other producers will be happy to know you are looking to bring something to the same venue. If all the shows seem to be from just one producer, you may want to contact that producer to find out their experience with the venue. This is not mandatory. Unless the producer owns the venue, you can proceed with contacting the venue and asking for a performance date. Being a bit old-fashioned, I think it's always fun to meet your neighbor. They may be able to help you with something down the road, and if they become competition, it's good to know who you are competing against. Remember step 2. Guess what? Where your show will be may influence how long the show will be. If the bar only books acts that are 1 hour, then if you want to use that bar you will have to offer them a 1-hour show. Why do I suggest picking show length before venue? Because if you are truly set on that 4-hour event, then you'll know what venues to pass up while you are searching for the best performance spot. 4. Cast your show. Okay, so you know what kind of show you will do, how long it will be, and where you will do it, unless you are doing a solo. If so, then skip to step 5, you'll need other performers. Do you have friends that are also looking for more stage time and would be interested in your theme? If not, put the word out to other performers asking them to join your show. 10 performers in 1 hour is probably too many. To figure out how many performers are needed, you'll want to look at the average length of the routine plus the amount of time necessary for setup, cleanup equals X, then X divided by the length of the show, intermission, equals approximate number of acts. So for example, if I have a 1-hour show and I want each routine to be between 3-5 minutes, and I figure some people will leave lots of clothes on stage and some will have lots of setup, then I'm adding an extra 5 minutes for setup, cleanup. 5 minutes plus 5 minutes equals 10 minutes, then 10 minutes, 60 minutes, 10-minute intermission, equals 5 acts needed. I know that I will want to book at least 5 acts to fill my 1-hour show. If I decide to perform as well, then I might only need 4 more performers to fill up the evening, or I might add myself as a 6th performer. This way, if most of the routines are closer to 3 minutes with zero cleanup, at least I don't have to worry about the show wrapping up too early. 5. Create a budget. You have the ideal show, the ideal venue, and you are about ready to find the ideal cast. Before you start booking, know what kind of money you do or don't have. Is the venue charging you for space, room rental fee, portion of ticket sales, bar guarantee? If they are, then you'll want to think about how you plan on covering that cost. Next, think about who is doing sound, who is hosting, and who is doing setup, cleanup, the stage kitten. Do you know someone who can do at least one of those things for free? Do you want to guarantee that the dancers make money? If so, how much? If you are already over budget, maybe think about bringing in fewer performers but asking them to bring 2 routines. If you hire 2 performers other than yourself, then you still have 6 acts, 2 performers plus 1 you, multiplied by 2 acts each, but for a lot less money. Now add up the money you need to cover all expenses and divide that by half the available seats in the venue or average audience size. The more you produce, the more you will work with average audience size in your budgets. For now, you can just look around at shows you've been to in your town. In New York, there are so many shows every day of the week that 20 is not an unreasonable average audience size. So if you have a room rental fee of $200 for 1 hour, that's space $200 plus $0 for your boyfriend the DJ plus $0 for the stage kitten who is new to burlesque and is doing me a favor plus $25 for your friend the comedian who will host plus $75 guarantee for the 3 dancers including you equals $300 for your show, not including marketing cost. Then $300, 20 equals $15 ticket price per person. Once you know the minimum you need to make, adjust your ticket price according to what local shows cost and what your customer would be comfortable paying. If the other burlesque shows in your area charge $5, you will not be able to easily sell tickets for $15 unless you can show you are providing something that is worth the extra cost. 6. Once you've worked out if you can afford to produce your dream, then book the venue, book the performers, and start promoting. You'll want to use as many sources of free marketing and advertising that's available to you. Maybe a friend can design a postcard. Submitting the event to your local newspaper is free. Creating a Facebook event page is free. Emailing all your friends is also free. If your budget allows, you'll want to make money available for postcard or flyer printing, and the occasional paid ad, but remember to keep things simple for your first show. If you like producing, then it won't be long before you'll be creating bigger budgets and rhinestone-filled dreams. Tips. If you have to provide your own sound person, make sure you know what kind of sound system the venue has. Can you simply plug in a laptop or iPod and press play? Is the sound system CD only? Pay your performers. Do you ever hear Angelina Jolie turn down a paycheck from a film and agree to perform for the glory of it? What about Lady Gaga? These ladies may give a check to charity, but they are artists who ask that their art be paid for in a currency other than good karma. If you can't afford to pay your performers, then say so. If you can only charge $5 at the door, and the venue takes the first $150 of ticket sales, then with an audience average of 20 you already know you won't see a dime from the box office. Ask the audience for tips, tell the girls to make pasties or bake cookies to sell, help them get paid. Your performers will thank you for it, and you will develop a good reputation as a producer. Know your state laws. Don't run the risk of having your show stopped mid-twirl because you booked a performer who chose not to wear pasties. If the cops shut down your show or a parent complains, then don't expect that venue to book you again. When selecting a venue, think about where your performers will change. Ask questions when booking your venue. Find out if they will provide box office staff or a sound operator. Get it in writing. Put the venue agreement in writing. Even email will serve as a contract. Lay out what they have agreed to provide and what cost you are responsible for. Asking the audience for tips during the show is a great way to make extra money. A bar guarantee is a guarantee. If you sign a contract for a $500 bar guarantee, but your show takes place on the rainiest night of the year, the audience turnout is small and your drink sales only equal $250, then the bar will expect you to cover the balance. Are you prepared to put up the money if things don't go as planned? Know what the age limit is for your venue. Is it 21 and over or all ages? You don't want to book a performer who is 18 only to find that the bar manager won't let her in the venue. Ask what kind of marketing assistance the venue can provide. Just hanging your poster in their lobby is a huge help. Warnings. Do not let a venue pressure you into putting full nude acts into your show, especially if you know state laws prohibit this. Do not do business with a venue that quotes you one price via phone and puts a higher price on the contract.